you doing?
So this is the Tornado Podcast, or UCTV Podcast, and for this we're just going to be talking about stuff. For the first episode, we're going to be talking about our class and RTV, and if it goes well, we'll probably keep doing it, and if it doesn't, then I guess that sucks. So introduce yourselves.
I'm Hayden Wilson.
I'm Keathley, Darnell.
And I didn't say my name earlier, I'm Jake. And so now we're going to be talking about what RTV is and what we do in it.
We're filming a podcast right now, guys. Can you leave us alone?
I'm just like busted out the door.
Yeah, what is this? Crap, guy, open up!
Okay, so we're going to be talking about what RTV is mainly as a class. Keathley, do you know what RTV is?
RTV it's basically radio and television broadcasting. We don't go by the RTV terms anymore. We go by AV, which is audio and visual. But if we're going back to the roots of the class, it's radio and television broadcasting, and it's basically a class where you learn how to edit and produce mature videos and
Mature.
yeah, mature, good word. I'm trying to think of the word.
Professional.
Adult.
No, it's professional videos, and yeah, it's a good. God, I can't even think. What we do every day is we film segments. Your choice of either being serious or goofy. Most of the time we choose goofy. And we present it to the school every 2 weeks.
Sometimes every 2
Yeah,
weeks.
when we meet the deadline.
So we got 2 small ones in here.
Y'all want to join the podcast?
So we're going to keep doing this. So when we film an RTV, there's certain rules and standards we have to go by that not everyone agrees with. For instance, it always has to be 3 seconds per shot, and each shot has to be either wide, medium, or tight in different angles. And if you don't meet those, then you'll probably feel this Kingry's wrath or something,
It's pretty bad.
which Keathley always gets the shorthand by.
I really do. I mean, she's always on me. And I'm not even, I don't necessarily do anything wrong. It's just, I'm like the scapegoat. She just like hammers me because she knows I'll take it compared to the rest of the class. But I do stuff sometimes. But when it comes to my shots, I usually get them done really well because I get Nick to do them. So.
And there's a certain thing with our class that if you misbehave, then you will usually get a dot. In which, if you get in trouble, you'll get a dot, and like what happens, like if you get 3, you'll get a detention or something.
I think it's just 2 points off your
like,
weekly
it's like 2 points off your class participation grade.
for the week or the day or something like that. And then once you hit your 5 dots, that's 10 points off your weekly participation grade.
I get them for going to the bathroom.
Yeah, you get a dot every time you go to the bathroom.
And Keathley just gets them.
I got one today for asking a question. I said, when is this project due? Ms. Kingery said, Friday. And I said, okay. And she said, I'm giving you a dot for not being busy. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I don't get any leverage in this class.
So, now let's talk about like everyone, like almost everyone who's in RTV, and what they're like and how they film. Like we can start off with like Wyatt, like how he does the.
Everybody's different. That's a big thing. Not everybody's the same. Everybody has their own way of doing things.
And that kind of like keeps it like unique and fresh sometimes.
You want different. You don't want the same all the time. You want a little different sometimes.
Yeah.
Wyatt definitely has the potential to do great things in here. I just don't think he's putting forth that effort.
No.
What I mean by that is he's a really funny guy, and he makes good quality content, but he just doesn't, I don't think he puts it together like he could. Like, his videos are okay, the editing could be better.
Yeah, but not very professional.
Yeah, it's not professional. But overall, I mean, he's got some funny videos. Like, he's the frequently asked questions. We did those. We did a few of those this year, having to do with his military status and how he joined the National Guard over the summer.
And also the PTSD guy
Yeah.
for officers.
He is.
He's good for acting.
Yeah, he is definitely good for acting. I would. He's good for making it funny. That's what it is. And that's what the people want to see. As in people, I mean the students of Union City High School. That's what they want to see. They want to see funny. And that's kind of what Tornado Talk has developed into.
No, it shouldn't be on. No, it's kind of unprofessional for the podcast.
Sorry.
Speaking of Wyatt, there he is.
Hey, come in here.
My power score rate just went up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now Wyatt is in here. We just got done talking about you.
He's a special guest.
Special guest. Congratulations.
Fashionably late because
Can I see that? Yeah.
don't curse it. Oh, not cool. It's
Right now, you can join in on what we're talking about.
talking about you.
We're discussing the roles and like how people benefit this class and stuff. I'll let Jake explain it a little more.
So like each person kind of does their own thing with their own skits, but sometimes we also help each other like editing or filming. Like most of my skits I'm just like deeply sorry, and some people mainly just like sit, take a step back and just edit mostly, and they're not on camera that much, like Nick and stuff. Yeah,
I'm on there sometimes.
yeah. But some people, I'm not going to say any names, but some of them don't contribute as much as others.
I wonder who that would be. Yeah. I mean, those people, they just don't take it as serious, I guess.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, you really don't have to take it that serious to make good content either.
Sometimes you have to take a step back with the professionalism, I guess, to make it seem funny.
I feel like, in all honesty, if we're going what we've talked about so far with the guidelines that we have to follow and the our quality content and stuff, I would have to say that there is a little bit of restriction. Miss Kingery always likes to say, think outside the box, but there's
the box.
Yeah, there's limitations on what we can do. We're basically withheld inside the school. We're not allowed to go anywhere.
Especially since the tire thing.
Yeah, since the tire thing last
I
year.
don't know if y'all guys want to talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is it's hard to meet the imagination standards of Miss Kingery whenever you're limited to basically this room and the hallways. Oh, memory card full.
I don't know if I should place real quick.
You can. It's okay.
If you want.
Because this
You
is
just
it.
edit.
Yeah, the thing is, this class is, obviously it is a class, but it also is kind of more than a class too.
Yeah.
Because, there's it's obviously very non-traditional in the way that the class actually works, because there's very little bookwork that we do, and there's not very many tests, if any, really. And you do need to know how to do the things that are required for the class, like how to edit, how to set up cameras, get the right angles and stuff. So there is knowledge that goes along with it, but you're not going to be tested on it every day or every week, whatever. You just need to know it. It's just something that you have to know in order to do well in the class, to make it good.
I was waiting for you to get done with that one, so we could sing.
Oh my gosh.
So is this whole thing going to be edited?
Jake's gonna edit it where it needs to be edited, but other than that, he's not really gonna mess with it.
Are you going to stop that one? Or does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. He's gonna sync them back up here in a second. He's gonna use the track one thing. This is like a 45-minute podcast, Wyatt, so.
Oh, shoot. I have not done anything for my 1 minute segment yet.
Neither of us. And I'm only gonna be here tomorrow.
This is like,
Oh, well.
Miss Kingery said this could be mine. Like, there's Alex. I don't know if she wants to be in it.
Do you want to be in it?
No girls allowed.
Stuff that you can't be in here for.
Yeah, you have to leave.
Hey, Khalifa, get out of here.
No girls allowed.
No, what do I?
No girls allowed.
Nick.
Leave. Be gone.
Alex. You think, bro?
Be gone, thought.
Is that camera recording?
Be gone, thought.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
So what about some behind the scenes stories?
Oh, okay. Well, one behind the scenes story that happened last year, like I was going to get to, would definitely be the tire story. This occurred with me, Hayden, Dayton, and Jay. We were doing how-to videos for our RTV1 class, and now we're in RTV2, just for the record. But anyways, Hayden's how-to video was how to change a tire. And, Hayden, if you want to give a little bit about what that was like,
Oh, you want me to tell the rest?
you can tell about how difficult it was to.
Well, we ended up taking the tire off my truck completely, and my tire is actually twice as heavy as a regular car tire, so it's a truck tire. And Jay put it in the bed of my truck, so when we finished our segment, he decided, instead of trying to lift it out because it weighed about as much as he did, he decided to drop it out the back of my truck. And with it being like almost a brand new tire, it bounced right off the ground as soon as he dropped it, and it smacked my best friend's girlfriend's car. Smacked it right on the front.
And it was
It was loud. It
was definitely loud.
It didn't do any damage, so I feel we shouldn't have gotten in trouble. But I had no
I mean,
say-so.
we ultimately didn't get in trouble, but we did.
Yeah, we got restricted from going outside.
And we had to go apologize to Mr. Cross.
But it didn't do no damage, so that's the good thing. But
I did do all the talking.
yeah, you did.
Yeah,
we
that?
all just sat there. We were just like this.
And I was the one who said, hey, we wanted to be up here and apologize. But
So that's why y'all probably are not allowed to go outside. So
it was a nerve-wracking moment.
Not everybody was responsible for that, though.
Yeah, Wyatt was not responsible.
I was not even out there, so.
I just blame it on Jay.
Honestly, I do too.
If we're pointing fingers, it's going right at Jay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm blaming Nelson, because Nelson is the one who leaked the video.
Yeah, that is right. Of course.
Wait, how did you make the video?
Oh, y'all can go now. I was just gonna say something. Y'all can go.
Wait, you can continue what you were saying.
Okay, well, I felt bad because it was my best friend's girlfriend's car, but at least it didn't do any damage. Like, it literally left a black mark, and it's because if you go up and touch a tire, you're gonna have black on your hand. So she was able to wipe it off. But that was probably one of the funniest things that happened last year.
That was awful.
Rest in peace, Ford Fusion.
How did it like get leaked out?
We took a video on the RTV camera, and then somehow I put it on my email, and Nelson got a hold of it. And I don't know how. I honestly don't. And I don't even know who Nelson sent it to or why it was sent out. I just remember coming to school the next day and Miss Kingery getting all mad and being like, so? guys are on lockdown.
I'll say U4 or something like that.
Yeah, and we had to go apologize, and it was awful. I thought I was trying to spend some time in the world, but it didn't happen.
When you say the world, does that mean like suspension or something?
Just means ISS.
ISS.
I don't
call
know.
it the world.
Nobody knows why they call it that.
Coach Byers, I think, started that when he became vice
I don't think so. They've been calling it that since before then.
Oh shoot!
Really?
I've only ever heard him say it. Now I hear
Yeah.
everybody say it.
I heard Mr. Dean say it like freshman year. I had no clue what he was talking about.
So what other behind the scenes stories are there?
Let's talk about the times we slapped Hayden.
Oh yeah. So there's a recurring joke in most of my videos, mainly, and the Hot Pocket one, in which Hayden just always like gets slapped whether he knows it's gonna happen or not. And it all started from like I was editing the first Office skit, and I remember when Hayden got slapped, so I just thought, what if we just put that in there so that it could be funny?
Yeah, because I remember it was junior year.
It was homecoming.
Yeah, it was homecoming because Dayton was it was on Friday because
We were dressed me and him were dressed
Yeah.
the same.
I was behind the camera.
And I remember I saw you guys walking up, and I was just like, this is not gonna be good. And I looked away, and then I just heard like as loud.
You looked
as
away. I respect you, Wyatt.
Yes, because I was like, this guy's about to die. Like it is gonna be over.
I didn't know that was even happening. I just heard like huge slapping noise. And just looked up. Just like,
Yeah,
That's
that
been
was-
basically like, well, I don't know if you would necessarily call it a cameo, but it's
It's
kind
like
of like a
a
cameo.
reoccurring.
Yeah, it's just
A
like
running
meme.
gag.
It's just a meme.
I'm not gonna lie, I was mad at first because I wanted them to delete the video.
Yeah,
and
I
I kind of
remember
just
that.
came like,
Because that is honestly.
I came to like realize it's actually funny. I
Yeah.
don't even care.
It was so funny when we put that in the video. Everybody was laughing.
What video did it go in though?
Our
it was the final for.
yeah, it was the final for.
Because that was the last thing that came up on the
Hey,
screen.
dude, we need to do that on the final show. We need to put Brady's parkour in. We're putting that in there. Dude, we're putting that in there.
I know what you're talking about.
Because like, so when we were freshmen, there's this senior. He's a senior now, and he made a video when he was in elementary school. Ow, my hair!
I just like yanked his hair with this.
But so he made a video when he was a young lad, and
I gotta say.
it was pretty embarrassing, to say the least. But I don't want to talk about everything that's in it because you have to just experience it. There's no way anybody can describe it to you. And they put it in the show our freshman year, and so I really want to put it in this year so that our freshmen can see the meme because it was hilarious.
I guess I kind of have one. This is from the last year's final, and it was the cook show skit,
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
and it was like the part where he slaps the table with the bell and says, "Don't touch my ingredients."
Don't touch my ingredients.
I remember I just told him, like before we filmed, I told him, because sometimes when we film, he gets carried away. I don't know where he got the belt. I know it was mine, but I don't know how he got it. So I touch it, and he just like slaps my hand as hard as he can with the belt and just screams. And he just screams, "Don't touch my ingredients," and it literally just scared the crap out of me.
It was so funny.
And the part where, we're banging on the table saying we want food. The pizza was like hot when he pulled it out of the oven. And he was trying to do it carefully, but as we kept doing it, Hayden, who was there,
Yeah.
he kept banging it harder and harder, getting louder. So Louis had to like hurry up and get it before he like broke something.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, all the bloopers are like the most fun to like watch and edit and stuff because like you just like all the stuff that you don't even remember happens, you'll see it on film and you'll just be like that is hilarious. Especially if you've got a good editor, then they can just make it so much funnier.
I think it's really funny when like you don't know someone's recording you and then
Yeah.
you just see it pop up on the bloopers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have y'all ever been, sorry, if y'all like zoom in on my face or something, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, but have y'all ever been where like your eyes are like fixated on something and you can't move them?
Yes.
You just sit
You
there
just
like
feel
that.
like too lazy to move your
Yes,
eyes.
bro.
Just be
You
like,
get stuck like that.
Yeah.
That's how I just was, so I want y'all to see that. But anyways,
I hope that goes in.
back to what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, let's talk about AV1 and what that's like.
Oh. Our AV1 or what AV1 is now?
It could be both.
I mean, and it could change in the future too. So.
Yeah.
We should get Miss Kinger to come in and talk about that.
Oh, I don't want to hear Miss Henry talk.
She said she's not gonna be on camera.
Can I get one Rob Jordan, please? Sorry, now that we're on the topic.
Oh my gosh. Alright. What should I say?
Grab that boogie first. No! God, don't ever.
I don't know, what should I say?
Hey, look, come over here.
Hey, Miss Kendrick, come in here. Come out of the office.
Get your ass.
Mr. Dan makes Wyatt do it every day because there's this thing that he just does in class, and every day he's like, Eli's that, and then Wyatt will do something, and it's funny every day.
Yeah, it is quite funny.
I guess we could start like talking about like our AV1 first, at least like how we were in AV1 and who's there and who's not in AV class anymore.
AV was fun. I did one.
Because you're all, you start out and you really don't know much about anything, and you have to learn pretty quick because you're gonna have to start making projects and stuff for Miss Kingery. And at first it's probably gonna seem kind of boring, but once you're able to, like, she'll let you kind of be a little more free, and you'll be able to make stuff that you want to, and it'll be a lot more fun. And also, as you get to know Miss Kingery and like all the other people in the class, you'll have a lot more fun.
It's like for most people I know, you either love Miss King or hate her.
Yeah.
Well, I have a love-hate relationship with
Oh
the
yeah,
woman.
definitely.
I mean, I love her sometimes because she's pretty chill, but other times she really.
Depends on what mood she's in.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean, and usually most of the time she doesn't get mad for no reason. Like, there's usually some reason that she's like mad at us. I mean, a lot of those reasons are caused by like you or me or somebody. It used to be Johnny. Johnny used to
get on her
Jonathan
head.
Gray used to always annoy her. But our AV2 class now is actually a lot smaller because we had some seniors and we had some people drop out. Let's drop the bat.
It's honestly the way I like it though. I like having a small class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun, but it can be challenging because sometimes it's hard to come up with ideas.
Yeah. Especially when 3 people out of the class, I'm not going to name any names, but don't do much brainstorming.
Yeah.
I will give them credit. They did work on the Thanksgiving segment that didn't get aired, but other than that, haven't seen much effort out of them.
Oh, do you want to talk about why the Thanksgiving skit didn't get aired?
Okay, the Thanksgiving segment did not get aired. We didn't even get to film. We were still on storyboard. Me and Hayden.
We filmed a couple shots.
For real?
Yeah, so it's like Hayden was like out in the shed near the school.
yeah.
Bianca was like yelling.
That's right.
That's literally like probably 5 seconds we got filmed.
I didn't know that.
Me and Hayden worked on the intro for 3 days trying to get it asphyxiated. Because, I mean, all you have is 45-minute periods, so.
Yeah.
And with Miss Kingery yelling at you
That
all
is,
the time,
that
you
is
don't have
a-
much time to work on it.
That is another difficulty about this class is that it's hard to get it's hard to like have enough time because basically usually unless you have something to film really quick, you're either going to be filming or editing throughout the day because you really don't have a whole lot of time to do both.
Yeah, with the Halloween segment, I spent about 6 hours working on the, what's it called? The Halloween segment, yeah.
Yeah.
I worked on it from 5th period, which was 12:30 till 4:30 in the afternoon. So I spent about 4 hours working on it one day. So you put some time forth. But Thanksgiving segment didn't get aired because we were around the table and nobody was really doing anything. We were all kind of just talking.
Because like we were just like waiting for people to like get finished writing stuff down basically, and we were just kind of hanging out I guess, which I guess we could have been doing something, but whatever. So then Miss Kingery got a little upset at us.
Especially
And,
something I might say.
yeah, one of us in this room may or may not have said something that made her a little bit upset, but hey.
It was so funny.
It
Not
was
saying any names, but the person she was like, y'all need to get to work. And the person was like, I need something to do.
Yeah, I was like, well then tell me something to do. I mean, that person was like, tell me something to do. And
Miss Kingery's like, all right, that's it. Everybody
yeah,
should
she
have
was like,
said
all right,
this
everybody
bookwork.
bookwork right now, grab a book. And I was like,
We did bookwork for like
2 weeks.
What, 2 weeks?
Because I really wasn't trying to be like a smart butt.
That was the worst 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was terrible. We all wanted to drop the class, but hey, it's just part of it.
Not gonna lie, there was about 4 or 5 of us who went to the office to try and drop the class.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
That did not work out really well.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try again when Coach Cisco gets in, but just kidding.
Oh, shame.
you mean they might.
I'm ready to see shame.
That was me.
Alex, you're too short. Alex, we're filming in here. Leave us
We
alone.
got stuff to do. Back off.
God, go dye your hair again. Leave us alone.
Yeah, hang on. I'm about to get her good. What's this? Hey, you want to come in here? Alright, well, too bad.
Hey, where it was.
Whoa, where's Miss Kimber? Oh, she's right there.
Looks great over there, huh? Yes.
Alright, bro.
Let's talk about how.
And because of that, that's why there was only like a handful of us to work on the Christmas kids.
That's
Yeah,
right. There was about.
some
I kind of
odd
liked it
people.
like that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We got a lot done, and the Christmas show was actually okay. It wasn't terrible.
It was pretty good, I thought. But I think that was our best one so far.
Yeah, but we're about to be 2 weeks in, and we haven't even made a show.
Yeah, because
We're still doing class samples.
we just did PowerPoints that maybe if you're watching this, maybe you're gonna use those PowerPoints.
But it doesn't just have to be for like AV1 students. Like this could be for like anyone. This is just we're just talking about this for this episode.
Yeah, but we just finished some PowerPoints, like instructing certain people on how to do more complex editing techniques and stuff like that. But and now we're working on our own individual segments. But I'm ready to get back to where we can all just kind of work on like a few different like skits together, because that's when I think we're at the most productive, because we all like, even if one of us doesn't like one skit, we're not like just stuck to it, we can work on something else.
Yeah.
But we all have each other to work with and stuff. But when we're doing individual skits, it makes it difficult because, if you want to pull somebody off of one, like, their own work to help you with theirs, then, they're obviously going to be behind on their work, so it makes it difficult.
Anything else to say after this?
Well, what about AV1 for this year?
Yeah, so, this year they made it like a lot bigger. Like last year there was one class, there was probably
20,
maybe
24?
15 people. You
No,
think?
there's a little bit more because all of us were in it, plus Trey, Johnny, Justice, Matt, Katie, Chuck, Dylan, Louie. Yeah, we had almost 20.
Yeah, so
Now it's
now we're down to like 8.
yeah, we have 10 now, but AV1 has 2 classes now, and there's
There's probably
15
Yeah, there's
each.
probably like 15 in each, 15, 20 in each class. So I think that'll work out because obviously, some of them are seniors, some of them are going to drop it for one reason or another, some of them are just going to suck. So I think, the more people you have, the more likely it is the show's going to be better. So I think it's a step in the right direction to have
I think
a really big class like that.
I think AV1 is I think it's approached a little differently this year than last year.
Yeah.
This year, Ms. Kingery is working more on Linda, which is a like an editing technique shower, I guess.
And you can use it for other stuff, but that's just what Miss King uses it for, is to teach us how to edit and stuff.
And then she's actually giving them a little bit of leverage when it comes to the show and stuff. We're about to have a competition apparently, where we make a show and the juniors make a show, and we see which one's better, and that's the next show. But I feel like it's a little, not necessarily biased, but a little unfair, I guess you could say, because they have about 30 kids in 2 classes, and we have 10 in 1 class.
And most of them don't do much.
Yeah, some of the people in this class don't do that much.
There's about 5
So
of us that-
basically about us, plus Jay and Nick, and Dayton on occasion.
What'd you say?
Is that John Cena?
Dun, dun, dun.
What are you talking about? Roids.
We're talking about people that actually like their stuff in this class.
We're in the middle of a cod fast. Let me see your ear, bro. Give me the bat then.
I got a Shrek thing from Miss Kinger's toy bag one time. I got like a for real plastic Shrek.
She had a whole toy bag though.
Yeah, from a county. She said, "You got out the bag." I'm gonna go got out. I said, "Miss Kinger, it's a Shrek."
Don't
She
rip
said,
it.
"From McDonald's."
I'll put it on my backpack.
Are you actually?
I mean, I'm not gonna do anything else with it.
Here, I'm gonna go to a freshman. Be like, "You like bats? You wanna come see my band? Here's some free bats."
Okay.
So what about the previous RTVs?
Like, you mean the ones before we were in?
Yeah.
Our freshman year.
Oh, yeah, well, see, let me think. It was our sophomore year. Miss Kingery actually became the teacher. And she changed it a lot, obviously. So she just did whatever she wanted, really. Because Miss Nip was the old teacher. She gave them a lot of freedom. But the shows...
Some may say too much.
Yeah, the shows were a lot different. Like for instance, they used to always film like games, like the football games, and they give highlights. Those weren't always exciting, but I mean it was there, and they did have skits and stuff, but they definitely weren't up to the same standards that the ones that we make are. Because Miss Kinger, we always have to have a shot list, and we always have to have or a storyboard or whatever, something like that.
And the humor was like kind of a lot different back then.
Yeah, and with that, they their shows were filmed. They made a show every week,
Yeah.
and they usually met those guidelines. But it was
Quantity over quality.
yeah, they were it was pretty bad, honestly. Like some of their skits were funny, but most of the times they were just like trying to scavenge for ideas, and it just wasn't appealing. And now we get 2 weeks. Miss Kingery's built on that. She gives us 2 weeks to get editing and stuff like that. We usually make a 10 to 15 minute show every 2 weeks, which is a little more time out of class. But
Sometimes it is more though too.
yeah.
But yeah, and they, I mean, not to say that was bad or anything, but that's just, they were just under a time crunch and under different standards than we're being held to, so it's just different, and that's how it was for years and years, but then now that Miss Kingery's here, she's changed everything around pretty much.
I mean, even the ones like during like our sophomore and junior, some people would still argue that like those weren't that good either.
Yeah. I mean, some people might say that ours aren't that good, but...
I mean, humor is different for everyone, obviously.
Yeah, and it just does kind of depend on who is running it and who, the audience is. I feel like we do a pretty decent job of like reaching a wide audience. We always try to make it funny for every group of people that are at our school. And, not that we always succeed at that, but I feel like people generally laugh at ours like a lot more than they did in some years past.
Yeah.
And maybe not the whole thing is just, gut busting laughter or whatever, but I feel like any laughter is better than none. Cause I remember some shows where people would just be like, "This is stupid. Like, there's nothing interesting."
Yeah, like
And I'm not saying that was like just their fault or whatever. They probably had some guidelines that they were being told to follow, but still, that's just kind of how it goes.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand the actual difficulty it is to make something funny for the entire school.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not that we're complaining or anything.
yeah, not that we're complaining, but I mean, I'm just saying from our standpoint, basically the only way you can make something funny for the entire school is if you like made fun of a teacher or something like that, which isn't allowed, but
Yeah. Sometimes.
like within
As long as you just don't go too far. I mean, that's kind of with everything, I guess.
I mean, that's the same for any show. I mean, you watch any show on the television, it's not going to appeal to everybody.
And,
Yeah.
they have a target audience that they're specifically going after. And, generally, I think it's more like skits kind of have a target audience. Like, for instance, I might target my specific friend group with something that I make, and Hayden might target somebody completely different with what he makes. So So it just kind of depends on who's actually, basically the director of the skit, and who's involved in it, and who they're targeting as to whether it's funny. So that's why we generally all work together on several different skits, so that we have a lot of skits and they appeal to a lot of people.
Ms. Kinger used to tell us all the time that since we're in class together and we do stuff together, stuff's going to be funnier to us than it is going to be to other people.
That's true. So if you're one of those people that is thinking about taking this class, you need to consider that it may not be. I honestly forgot what I was going to say.
Exactly what you expected to do.
Yeah, it may not be exactly what you're thinking.
And saying that, like Wyatt said earlier, if you're going to take this class, you need to be ready to work. There really isn't a lot of time for downtime. If you're not doing your work, you'll find downtime, but if you're doing what you're supposed to do and actually making it to the quality of what you should be making it, you will not have any downtime.
And even sometimes certain things happen while you're filming. Like a person may be absent that you need for filming, or footage might get lost, or audio might get screwed.
I mean, that's a fun fact of the Halloween segment. The first Halloween segment where Jay went missing, he was gone for 2 days, and we never even had that planned in the show. We just had to incorporate it whenever we figured out he was gone.
And it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of like what Keathley said, you're gonna have to, you're gonna be under a time crunch like the whole time pretty much. You're always gonna have deadlines of stuff you need to finish, and there's a process. You can't start editing before you film something. You can't start filming before you've made a shot list for it or a storyboard. And you can, but sometimes, and it is better for different types of segments or skits or whatever, but there's a very specific order you have to do something in. So if you haven't done this one thing, then and you still have a lot left, then chances are you're probably not going to make the time. It just depends. And, you got to also factor in that you might have to help other people with their skits and stuff. So sometimes things just don't always work out exactly the way you planned. And sometimes we have to cut out certain people's segments just because they're not really funny, or they're just not up to the right standards or whatever.
I mean, if we don't find it funny as a class, it finds almost everything we do funny. We don't think y'all will find it funny either. So that's kind of what we base. We base a lot of our segments off of the general audience that views our show, and that's basically the students. And if we don't think you'll find it funny, you'll as in the students, so speaking to, we don't really try to incorporate it. We usually just cut it. But for example, like the office segment, not saying everybody, but the vast majority of our school is a fan of The Office, knows what it is, or has at least seen it.
Yeah, I think, and it's something that, and even if they haven't, it's a platform that is it's really easy to make it work with a lot of different situations, and it's something that anybody can laugh at pretty much. There's no inside joke really to it. It's just if you know The Office, you do. If you don't, the content is still probably going to be fun.
I mean, like, those skits I got almost nothing to do with The Office.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that other people think it's funny, because like I don't really like them at all that much, even though do. Because with the first one, I filmed it and I didn't like it because like all the shaky camera shots and it wasn't that professional. And so I just thought, I'm just getting back into.
All right, bros, let's go. It's time to clean up.
Wait, why do you have to do that? They're filming. Why would you interrupt their thing like that?
What? What?
Shut up. Laura, be quiet. Okay, I'm glad. It's time for you to work on your accounting.
Thanks, Mr. Kinger.
And we will continue this.
After this quick break.
After this commercial break.